Hey crafty people, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Oh, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to do something I saw on Gayle Agostinelli's channel where she creates tags and journal cards with a flower garden on them. And so basically she takes like book page collaged pages, and I think she usually does like 12 by 12s cut in half so that they're 12 long and 6 high. I tend to use 8.5 by 11 paper mostly, and I use coffee dyed paper for this. And so we're gonna cut them in half, and I did 2 pages landscape and 2 pages portrait, so we'll have a couple different sizes to work with. And basically what she does is glues a bunch of flowers on to create like a garden, and then blind cuts them into tags or journaling cards. And so it'll make sense once I start doing it. So I'm just gonna cut my 2 portrait ones at 5.5. And then we got another one. And this is using, I think I said, antique and vintage book page, I think, on here. And then these I'm gonna cut at 4 1/4, so we're gonna have some smaller guys. Do not trim off the excess on them, so we're just gonna turn this upside down so I can actually see where the end of the paper is. And I'm going to be using digitals, but you, of course, can use images you cut out of books or magazines, or I'm going to trim these guys up. If you buy, the like 49 Market laser cut elements or other pre-made ephemera that goes with like a paper pack, whatever flowery images you have, you can use for this project. I'm using digitals because I have them. And it's just an easier way because I am still working on the butterfly journals. One day those journals will be finished. Not sure when that day is going to come, and I may need to do a little extra gluing on some of these pieces, but let's just clean them up real quick. I, of course, forgot to switch my glasses again because I'm still not used to the fact that I need my reading glasses when I'm crafting. Ah, the joys of getting older. And I was also doing something else and have my garbage bucket on the other side of the room as well. Oh, this is why I try not to film on weeknights, which tonight is a weeknight, but I'm getting a tattoo later this week, and so I'm not sure I'll be able to do any filming this weekend because I'll have to be careful of the tattoo. So I don't have all of my videos for next week filmed yet, so it's like, oh, you need to go film. That's good enough. And we might as well start with this one. And I'm going to grab my art glitter glue because that's the glue I like to use. You, of course, can use whatever glue you prefer. And as I was saying, I'm doing this for the butterfly journals. So I'm sticking to monochromatic color schemes. And these are Flowers by Ginger Journals. Let's see what we've got in here that we might want to use. I think I may start with that one. There are definitely a few that I'm like, maybe I need to cut that bit out. That's gonna bug me. So yeah, when I do digitals, I don't always fussy cut out all of the most delicate bits because that makes it more fragile and more likely to rip while it's being stored until you're ready to use it. So I will often come back in and take out a little bit extra in some spots, depending on how I'm using it and all that sort of thing. So I'm just using, this is my Fisker fingertip blade, which I really like for getting into spots like that. I find it easier than using scissors. I'm also gonna grab a scrap piece of paper and my antique linen, because that's just the right amount to knock back whiteness on any pieces like digitals that you might have. So it's my go-to for just knocking back that white so it doesn't stand out quite so much against what we're doing. So it's very subtle. It's just a little hint there, and it just makes it less starkly white, if that makes any sense. Let's pick out what we're going to use, and then I'll clean up any cutting that needs to be done. And I will try and quickly clear out the bits that, cut out the extra bits that need cutting out. I'm going to turn the camera off and cut out the rest of the areas on these guys because I'm sure this is boring you to tears. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished cutting everybody out. I haven't inked everyone. I also prepped some more of them. This way I wouldn't have to keep starting and stopping. And oh my word, I am currently like dying of the heat right now. So that whine you hear is my fan because I am dying. It is so stinking hot in here. All right. So let's go ahead and add some ink to everybody. And I don't even remember which one I started with that I've already inked. No clue. So we're just gonna ink them all. And I did grab a few smaller ones to add in just to kind of fill in some of the gaps. I don't know which ones we're gonna use, but let's just go ahead and ink all of them. Alright, let's figure out a layout. I think I started over here with this one. Same one, but we're going to be cutting these up, so they're not going to end up being together. So let's do there. All right, I think I like that, so we're just going to start gluing down. And I'm okay if we hang over a little bit. We can always trim off any overhangs later. That one up a little higher. That guy right there kind of hides the fact that he's like floating up a little bit. just gonna use a rag to press it down, so if there is any glue seepage, it goes onto the rag instead of the project. I feel like it needs another flower here. All right, that one is done for now until we do the cutting, but I figured we'd do all the cutting at once. So for these guys, I realized as I was putting them together that my flowers are way too short for how tall this was, so we were gonna need to cut them in half. I'm gonna grab my paper trimmer because I have no idea where my little guillotine, oh, there it is. My craft space is currently a complete and utter disaster area. I really need to spend some time tidying. That should be about right. Yep. Got 1 and 2. Gonna ink up all our flowers. All right, let's start putting these guys together. And these flowers are from my Porch Prints digital called Dark Botanical. I feel like I am doing this wrong because I'm like, why are my flowers not fitting? Because it's supposed to go this way. That will make it so that all of these flowers fit. All right, I think I like that. So let's glue everybody down. That guy behind that guy, so luckily I could pull him up. I have to go bring in my pesky dog because he started barking out there. He's now gone quiet, which I never know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Hearing an awful lot of noise out there. I'll be right back. Okay, so I figured out why I was like, it's so much space and it shouldn't be. We're supposed to be going this way, not this way. This is why I don't craft in the evenings after work. It's because my brain tends to be fried and we do silly things like that. All right, so let's put this one together. All right, I like that. Let's go with that. All right, I think that one's done. I've got a few more I pulled out, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do those off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, so I finished the other ones. So we've got this guy. That one I did on camera. I did these two the wrong way because I had pulled out the flowers for them before I realized I was doing it the wrong way, and since they're two different colors, I went ahead and did it like that. Then we've got this one we did on camera and this one, and I did this one off camera and I did it the right way, and then this one we did on camera. So what we're going to do now is blind cut most of these, although this one I really like how it looks. I think I'm just going to keep it that way, and I've got a couple butterflies that I'm going to stick on it, so that's what we're going to do for that one. I haven't decided yet what I want to do for the other short ones, so we'll have a think about that in a sec. Before we do the blind cutting, I think, do I want to? I'm debating whether I want to trim off the little bits hanging over the edges, and I think I probably do. Let me grab my scissors and do that real quick. And I'll grab my paper trimmer, and I've got, let's see, not that. This tag punch, which does 2.5, 2, and 1.5. So I think I may try cutting some of these so we can use this punch on them. All right, let me do maths on the fly. This is not going to go well. So this is what, 8 1/4. So, all right, we're going to do 2.5. 2.5. Since there's so many layers, I gotta go back and forth a few times on this. Ooh, that is not cutting through. All right, we'll just grab our scissors. I may need to get a new blade for my paper trimmer. All right, so that leaves, what is this? This is 3.5. Oh, that'll work. That'll give me 2.5, and then we'll have a 1.5. So we're doing some skinnier guys this time. No, that's 1, 2. That's right, because 3.5 and 2. But if I do 2, that'll give me a 2 and a 1.5. So that's what we'll do. All right, so let's see what we got. That's cute. That one definitely is going to need something more. That one might be fine as is. This I'll probably put something up there. And this one may be good as is. So there's that. Let's do another one. And I'm just trimming off our excess bits. And again, we're gonna flip it over, and this one's another 8.5. So we did. Let me grab out until I can find a new blade. I think I have them, but I'm not sure. Let's grab a Tim Holtz rotary trimmer. All right, so we did 2.5. 2.5. 2 and 1.5. All right, we'll look at them all after we get everything cut. So this is 11. So let's see, 2.5 and 10 is 5, which will leave us with 6. All right, let's do a 2.5. Oh, I think a piece fell off that wasn't glued down all the way. Should be all right. Yeah, I don't think you notice. 2.5. This piece is now 6. So if I do 2.5 again, that will leave a 3.5 piece. I can do 3 twos. Let's do 3 twos. And just trimming off our excess. Pop this in. We're gonna do 2.5, 2.5, and the rest at 2. And here's a tip with using your paper trimmer, because you'll notice I'm pushing the blade down. If you're pushing your paper up to the stop line on the top of your trimmer, you want to be pushing up with the blade, not pulling down, because by pushing up, you're pushing the paper against the stop, and so it'll be straighter than if you pull down. So if I was doing it at the bottom, I'd be pulling down instead of pushing up, if that makes sense. Let's see, what is the measurement on this guy? This guy is 5.5. So that'll give me, if I do 2.5, that'll give me a 3. That's acceptable. If I do 2, that'll give me a 1.5. Let's do that. And then for the other one, we'll go ahead and do a 3. All right, let's do 2. And 2. Although I'm kind of wondering, do I want to just leave that one? This one I definitely want to trim, because I've got this, oh, I thought I had the small version of the same flower on here, but I think I changed things up as I was doing it. Let's do this one at 2.5, and then we'll have a 3-inch wide piece. And then this one. To leave it or not to leave it? That is the question. I think we're gonna leave that one. Oh, but so as I was saying, like with the tip on trimming, since I'm pushing it against this stop, it works better if I do that than if I do that, because there's a chance that the blade will pull the paper away from the stop and will make it go crooked. So it's just a little tip for using your paper trimmer. All right, let's take a look at what we've got. So we got this guy and this skinny little guy. I like that one. That one came out cute. And that one. And that one. I like these. This was fun. And so we've got our shorter guys. Just see if we can get that little piece off, because yeah, that worked out. And that one, we got that guy, and this one, and this cute little one, and this one, and this one, and then we've got 2 that we're leaving as journaling cards. All right, let's go through and do the punching. So this is the We Are Memory Keepers tab punch. Dust it off. And so if you just slot it in the center, depending on which size it is, it will cut out the top like that. Now this is the 3-inch one, so we'll set that aside. Or for a 1-inch, oof, there we go. It does that top. And this one's a little off, so I'm just trying to make sure it's centered between those lines. So yeah, even if it's not exactly like cut to the right width, as long as you keep it centered on this, it'll cut out fine. All right, that's everybody punched. Now I'm gonna grab my corner rounder because we're gonna round some corners, but I'm not gonna do everybody on camera or initially. So this one, I wanted to just leave as is, add a few butterflies. So let's just round the corners. I'm gonna do the same for this one. And mostly, you don't have to round corners, but mostly I do it because it makes it so that things go in and out of pockets easier. And of course, the dog wants in. So let me go do that. I'll be right back. All right, so for this one, which we're going with like this, I've got 2 butterflies, one to go here and one to go there, just to add a little bit more interest. All right, and what I do when I cut out butterflies is I leave most of the area around the antenna intact, because if you fussy cut them all the way out, they tend to just rip off. So you're better off waiting until you go to use them, and then you've got antennae and you don't have to worry about them getting ripped off while they're being stored. And of course, I'm gonna add a little bit of antique linen just to take away the white. And oh goodness, I let a dog in and now he can't decide where he wants to be. He's like on the couch, off the couch, wandering in, wandering out of the room. And these are the My Porch Prints Dark Botanical Digital. I think for this one, we're gonna keep it simple and just add, I've got, these are 49 and Market washi stickers. Maybe do that little butterfly there. And I kind of want that little butterfly there, and just call that done, because I think it's very lovely just as it is. All right, let's go through these guys and decide if some of them are just in need of fibers and if some are gonna need something else. All right, I think that one just needs a fiber. That one can use a little butterfly. That can use a butterfly. That could use a butterfly. Butterfly, butterfly, fibers. Think a butterfly because we've got like this plain spot, which I think I missed the spot when I was collaging. So let's put something over there. Maybe that one I think is good. That one's definitely good. That one's definitely good. That one's good. That one's good. Purple seem to all be good. I think we could stick a small butterfly there. That one looks good. This one I think I may want to label at the bottom. That's a maybe. That one may be a label at the bottom. That one maybe a label at the bottom. And this one probably could use a butterfly. All right, let's put the ones that I'm thinking need a label at the bottom off to one side because I don't have my labels out. These, we'll see if we find something. Let's start with this guy. And I feel like that just finishes that one off, and that one is done. Try adding Happy Day, because why not? The one great thing about 49 and Market is you get
ton of the washi stickers when you buy a thing of their washi stickers. The downside is you get a ton of washi stickers. It's like, oh, I'm never going to use all of these guys. Yeah, that works. Just grab my little bone folder, make sure it's pressed down good. All right, that one's done. This needs a little purple butterfly. Do we have a little purple butterfly? Don't know that I love him, but I got over to the side because I've got the Dark Botanicals also has butterflies, but they're still a little too big. But I do have the other set of my Porch Prints butterflies. I like that guy. Let's go with that one. Just a little. I think I was planning on using it on something and then didn't end up using it on something because this one's already double layered. So I think I'm just gonna glue down the antennae in the center so that it can have a little bit of movement to it. Leave that sit. Set that one aside. I am eyeing this washi butterfly over here. Ooh, or maybe that one. That one does cover a whole bunch of that. There we go. All right, this guy. I don't think any of these have like red. Oh wait, we do have red on this one. But not the bright red. I'm not loving that. Let's see, do we have a red in here we like? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I like that one. And while I'm in here, I'm thinking that one for over here. All right. Again, this is just my antique linen brush. Just knocks back the white. And I just use the rag to collect any glue seepage. That one can go there, that one can go there. Let's bring you over. Let's see if I've got a smaller version of that one. Because I like that butterfly, I don't like the size of that butterfly. I know that's the smaller version because there's the bigger version. I don't want it overlapping on that one. Okay, maybe we'll use it on this one. Yeah, that'll work on that one. I'll find somebody else to go there. Part of me wants to use this guy again. I think I am. That one's done. Let's see if we can find another little yellow butterfly. Ooh, that guy looks cute. Let's see if we can find the one it goes with, because I think for these, since I was planning on layering, I ended up just cutting off the antennae on the top layer. Let's do this one on here. All right. Was I thinking a butterfly on this one? Because I don't think it needs a butterfly. Maybe I was thinking label. I think these guys I was thinking labels. These two were the ones I was up in the air about maybe doing a butterfly. That one will work there. And why not use this cute little guy over here? All right. I'm gonna go grab some labels and I'll be right back. All right, so I pulled out some numbers and I got out my fibers. So let's finish these guys off that I grabbed numbers for. And I'm gonna grab, whoop, excuse my reach. Pink dauber and some Kitsch Flamingo for our pink guys. And ink around their edges. And these are just pieces of paper I stamped with probably a combination, and I think I'm just gonna nip the corners on this one instead of having it so squared off. Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous for sure. I probably have some creative expressions, like I think that one might be a creative expressions one. And I think that's it because I don't think I have any Crafted by Tony's out here. And none of these are cut very straight, so I'm gonna try and straighten this one up a little bit. I think the problem is I don't tend to stamp them straight. So that makes it a little hard to get the piece cut out straight. All right, this one I do want to trim a little off the top there. I'm going to try using my paper trimmer because this one's actually relatively straight compared to some of the other ones I've done. So let's see if I can keep it relatively straight. Shabby Shutters. I don't think this is my Shabby Shutters dauber. Ah, there's the lighter green. This one I want to give tag corners to. So let's go ahead and grab, it's just an old gift card that I cut, tag corners so that I can easily have them match on both sides. If you do not have an old gift card you can do this with, you can cut off a piece and then flip it and hold it in place, or you can just wing it and hope for the best. I find holding the little corner to be rather fiddly, so I prefer having the card that I can use. All right, last one. Here we go. Red dauber. This one, let's try and get that a little straighter. And I think we're just gonna leave it. Let's ink the edges. All right, now we're gonna add fibers to all of these guys. All right, let's separate them out by colors so that I can do this more easily. All right, we got 3 pinks. Let's pull out some pink. So I'm gonna use my bead easy because that makes this whole process so much easier. And I'm gonna grab fabric scissors. All right, let's grab a little bit of this and a little bit of this one. I think this one I want to double over. I think we're going to go about there, so let's double that one up. From that. Got that one. Fold these in half because I think I may have adjusted the length of the other one a little bit. Fold this one in half. Grab our Bead Easy, and this is why I like the Bead Easy. It makes it so much easier to do these things. So this is one of those tools you don't have to have, but oh, if you do fluffy fibers like this, it makes it so much easier to deal with them. Because then I'll just go through it again and thread it through like that. And then pull it through our little loops. And voila! We got fluffies. Alright, that one's done. Let's grab this one. There we go. That one's a little long. I'm looking at that. And instead of trimming it and wasting it, let's do this. Let's fold it in half. Cut. And redo this. There we go. We got that one all fluffied. This one. There's that one. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these because I don't think you want to just sit and watch me pull fabric through the tops. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be back and we'll take a look at all of the finished tags and journaling cards. Okay, so I done all of them except this last one because since we didn't punch it, there's not a hole in the top, and so instead of doing that, what I'm gonna do is staple on some fibers. So we're gonna go like that using my tiny attacher. So we got this one done. We got the 2 journaling cards. Then we've got this guy and this one. I love the fluffies. I just really like having fluffy fibers on my tags. And this little skinny guy. And then I got this one. And this one. And that one. And that one. And another one. Oh, that one's got a fiber stuck to it. And another one. I got so many done. And this guy. And that one. And that one. And another one. And a tall skinny guy. And a yellow, another yellow one. And this one. And this one. And this one. And this one. And these 2. So that's a lot we got done. So So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.